Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess, and that was a terrible joke. Look, they can't all be winners. Sue me. But do me a favor and hit that like button or I'll force your children to play Superman on the Nintendo 64, and let's take a look at the QSP Penguin. So, let's take a look at what we're holding because it's protocol. It'll bother you if I don't, and you know I love you. And first things first and most importantly, the pocket clip is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. It's a reversible pocket clip. We've got the blue denim micarta. We got the thumb stud. Let's flick the stud. And we got 3.12 inches of D2 steel. I had that written down for a reason, but you know, I did my video on this and I kind of called it. There weren't going to be any major issues carrying this. It was going to be a really good week. And yeah, it was a really good week. You know, I can't find a whole lot to complain about. The only real thing that happened, and it happens on a bunch of knives, so it's kind of a non-issue, but it did happen, is it was a little harder than normal to get stuff out of the pocket around this. The way it took up the real estate, I know this right here, just with this being a little pokier and sticking out a little farther, would get caught up on key rings and stuff like that. Or stuff would get hung under it because this is flatter on the top than some other knives. It's not really chamfered. There's that $5 word again, folks. It's not really chamfered that hard, so it's kind of hard to get stuff out around it sometimes. But, I mean, it's happened on a lot of knives. So you're talking about, like, as close to a non-issue as you can possibly get. Other than that, I didn't really find any major issues. You know, I fed it some cardboard. It was fine cutting that. We did do some printer paper, trying to shorten that up so it would hang up on the bulletin board a bit nicer. That was fine. You know, one of the tests that I use to see how fine the edge is going through the plastic wrap on pallets. And that's been getting kind of hard to do. The way the pallets are getting wrapped now is not good. They're not doing a good job on it anymore. So if I do want to try to cut, I got to pull a lot of tension on it and then it'll cut. But it's not the same as it was earlier. So, you know, it had a hard time with the way the pallets are wrapped now, but when I put tension on that film, it cut through it really nicely. It did a good job there. Like, I can't really find a lot to argue with about this. And of course, like, the Penguin had been on my list for a while. It had been on my list for quite a while, and I saw it for 25 bucks on a Black Friday sale on Amazon and went ahead and jumped on it. And like, I wanted the blue micarta version specifically because, well, I like the denim micarta. But you know, so it's one of those things where I would have to really pad this out hard to get more than a few minutes of video out of it just because there's so few complaints. You know, I'm really tardy to this party. There's a reason I had the hype train on it. It is very smooth being on those washers, and I did discover its centrifugal opens, which is always welcome to see. I love a centrifugal opener. You know, the detent's strong enough to keep it closed. I had no issues with that whatsoever, but it does centrifugal open, and I love that. So, you know, like, it got a little bit better when I figured that out. I think I figured out it was centrifugal a little while after I did the last video. Should have, but I could be wrong. It's been a long week since I did that video. But yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about it outside of it did really good. You know, it is a knife that does a good job at being a knife. But let's take a look at our edge and see where it's sitting after the little bit of cardboard that I put it through and a little bit of work I put it through. That did not want to start. Hello. What is going on here, guys? All right. Wow, okay. So the edge may have degraded more than I thought. There we are. Kinda. We're going to break the tester out. Like, I hate having this happen where I don't know what's going to happen before I do this. It makes it a little bit harder to, I guess, have the video come out the way I want it to. But I also don't like hiding stuff like this. Something is obviously happening here. And, you know, and again, I got this thing, the box was open, there were stuff missing, so it may have been a used return to Amazon that didn't seem like it had anything going on with it whenever I decided to keep it. So that could be on Amazon. So we got a 278 there. That's not crazy out of line with what we were seeing earlier, I believe. I think we got around the 250s, maybe the 260s. Well, that was a 291. We're going to try that one more time after we tear the scale out. Yeah, this just got interesting, guys. So it seems like it did pick up a little bit of wear. I don't remember what all I cut with it. Like I said, it's been a long week. A lot has happened. 303. So yeah, looks like something put some wear on the edge. Now it should still be doing this cut even with those numbers. It should still be doing this cut. It shouldn't be doing what we're seeing it do here. There may be a couple of rougher spots elsewhere on the blade. It's like it's still hanging up on the fingernail. It's still doing everything else. Yeah. All right. So this is the unfortunate part is I don't know whether to chalk this up to this being potentially a used knife that got returned to Amazon and they just sent me a used one or what, but what do you do? It's too late now. I should have sent it back and got a replacement, and I didn't. You know, I've still got this thing that I filed or I put a return in for and haven't actually gotten into the UPS store because I procrastinate on everything far too much. But yeah, I mean, there it is. The edge is definitely not as nice as it was. I am sure it'll still do fine on cardboard and stuff like that. But yeah, that's a bit of a disappointment. And it's again, we have a variable here that we can't control. I don't know if this is a QSP's OEM did a bad job putting an edge on it, or if it got used and subsequently returned. I don't know. But yeah, here we are. We are going to throw this in the box. We're going to throw this in the box for a random roll live stream. Now, if you haven't seen the random roll live streams before, we got a lot of new faces here. There will be 5 knives on a table. Each one will be assigned a number, and we'll roll the 20-sided die of destiny to see which one we get that night. So this will go in the box for one of those, which hopefully I'll be able to get to one of those on Friday. It is Saturday right now. Hopefully we'll get to that on Friday and maybe do something interesting there. I'm not sure yet. Keep an eye on the community post. I'll let you know ahead of time. But yeah, the knife itself is great. The edge, I don't know where to assign blame for the problem. I don't. But that's okay. I will accept blame for not sending it back and making sure I got a brand new one. A little bit farther down the road, we may order another Penguin. I may see if I can order one in nicer steel and make sure we get a brand new one before we commence doing anything else with it. Because I do like this, and I believe they offer one in like S90V or something like that. And I'd love to have a second S90V for a second data point compared to the Fireball later on down the road here. So we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, for now, overall, good knife. I don't know where the problem with the edge is. I don't know where to assign blame for that outside of myself for not returning it. But yeah, I mean, I like this thing. It deserves the hype that it got. Fantastic knife. I'd probably give this one a solid 8 out of 10. You know, I'd love to see a deployment method besides the thumb studs, but I'll be honest, since it's centrifugals, I'm not that worried about it. Just a few small things that I'd probably change up a little bit, chamfer the edges a bit more around here, make it a little bit softer, and, you know, just little bitty stuff that is kind of a non-issue to most people. But yeah, it's really hard to go wrong with this, you know, especially if you catch one on sale, absolutely jump on it. Absolutely jump on it. It's a great deal. But, you know, that's everything I can think of to say about this. It's not the take I wanted to get, but I need to leave this in so that y'all see where that edge had unexpected issues on it. Man, that sucks. But, all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. Y'all keep coming in. I appreciate you so much. Comments, I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this thing. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.